Coming away from his marker, Hareide bringing him down once more though, and Robson's cross cannoning off the Norwegian, and here come Norway again through their skipper Thoresen. Oh, and he's given the ball away to Mariner. Now McDermott. Hummel. England looking the superior side, but needing that goal really to settle themselves down fully. Francis showing the ball to Grondalen, getting past him, whipping in a superb cross there, and the keeper well up to gather it as Mariner closed in on the far post. This is Albertson. That's Osman's easy ball, a cushioned header there for Brian Robson. Now Mariner, still no goals here, with coming up to a quarter of an hour gone. Keegan, the little backward header. And England coming in here. And Robson! A goal! Yes, it is given! England's breakthrough. Brian Robson, the scorer. Look at it again. The one they badly wanted. He really forced his way through there. Past the keeper. Past the defender Grondalen. On the ground. And hooking it in for an important first goal for England. Ron Atkinson.
Well, that's just the start we wanted, isn't it? We've had all these superior play. We've now capitalised on it. This is due to sheer persistence. Watch him go past here. It's nothing more. It might have been a suggestion of handball there, actually. Goes round the keeper, stumbles, persistent. And I think I'm right in saying that's his first goal for England, and he'll never score a more important one.
And a throw to England. Well, they've got something like 400 or 500 fans here, in spite of the fact that the FA tried to curb travel by English supporters, and so there's a good deal of cheering of English voices here at the moment. Keegan just stabbing that out for Neil. A flick in and a good one there by Mariner. A touch on for an offside, Terry McDermott, and a free kick to Norway.
Very important now, you know, we don't start indulging in a bit of luxury play. It's important we just keep playing into the front people who seem to have enough pace and skill to destroy this Norwegian back four. Another goal now, Brian, and I think the game would be virtually wrapped up, you know, providing we score it, of course.
Very important point, but here's Jakobsen. Lund has gone on ahead of him. Mills is coming across to cover him. And it's a good cross coming in there. Auckland almost got a shot in there for Norway. And maybe that's the little warning that England required, for their concentration to come back and their determination with it. And here's Keegan. Francis has gone up ahead of him. Look at Mickey Mills there taking up a right wing position. Francis in possession. He might well be tempted to pass the ball. Here's Mills. And an offside there against the England captain, Kevin Keegan. Winning his 58th cap for his country today. Force back to Antonsen, who had the agony of seeing the ball pushed past him there by Brian Robson. So if you've just turned on, you've just got home from work, with something like 17 and a half minutes gone, England have gone into a priceless lead here in Oslo. A 0-0 scored by Brian Robson. One fan being carried away, a stupid sight that we don't want to see, and a long ball here coming in that we don't want to see particularly either, but Paul Jakobsen couldn't quite get up to it, and it's a goal kick.
We've heard an awful lot about the boy Jakobsen, haven't we? And in the brief sort of flashes when Norway have attacked, he's looked to be very, very bright. In fact, it's important that Thompson and Osman do keep a little bit of a tight watch on him, because he looks as if he could go about the business if he's allowed to.
Here's Francis in a surprising amount of space down that left flank for England. Keegan's gone out there with him. Still Trevor Francis. The little chip in there, but I don't think McDermott will get to it. And it's Thoresen getting it away there for Berntsen. In for Thoresen again. Now here's Lund. And a ball here for Jakobsen, a dangerous ball, but he's offside. But again, they took their eyes off this man for a moment, and he suddenly had 4 or 5 yards. And it was a beautiful ball that Jakobsen got from Tommy Lund. Mills. Robson. Mills again. Here's Keegan. Very deep indeed. Now Thompson. Here's Russell Osman. Hoddle dummying it. And Francis dummying it. And here's Mariner with 2 or 3 white shirts in the middle, but it wasn't a good cross by Mariner. But he's battling away there. That's the sort of spirit that we saw in Budapest, and we're seeing here again at the moment tonight, with England leading by 1-0. But here come Norway again with Lund. Such a fabulous national footballing hero, Tommy Lund. And that cross cut out by Russell Osman. Lund looks as though he wants it to go for a corner, but it won't go. And it's Phil Thompson who gets it away for England. Now, England on the break again with Keegan. Francis up ahead of him. And that's a free kick. They're not sparing Keegan anything, Ron.
No, obviously with his reputation, they're trying to sort him out a little bit. But I don't think you'll mind that, you know, if he gets up and walks away and we keep getting free kicks and building a pressure.
Well, the man who did it there was Roger Albertson, who plays in Belgium. And he's got a bit of a reputation for tough arm tactics. They call him Red Rog for the number of red cards he's got. Here's a cross from England. And McDermott played back this time for Neil, and almost an own goal that time off Grondalen, and a corner for England. And the Norwegian defence, I must say, were all over the place here.
Well, that would be exactly right. In fact, we've just taken the free kick on Keegan, and their defenders are all walking away, not even looking at the game. And they look very, very naive at the moment.
Well, it's McDermott, and England looking for a second goal. But not getting it that way from Brian Robson, who scored the first for England after 15 minutes. Tommy Lund getting a bit of advice on the touchline there from Tor Fossen, the young Norwegian manager. Tor Antonsen, whose job when he's not playing football is as a telephone engineer, leaving the goal kick there to Albertson. Now Jakobsen, played for Lund, going wide down this left now, with Auckland in the middle, Paul Jakobsen in the middle as well, and stopped well by Phil Thompson, who was not to be tempted into a rash challenge. But here's Grondalen again for Norway. Auckland going in there, calling for it, getting it, squatting on it. Robson getting in there. Well, I can't think what that free kick was for, but it could present some danger for England, because the Norwegians have a reputation of being absolutely excellent with anything with a dead ball. Ron Greenwood is well aware of that, and it could well be someone like Torresen or Jakobsen or Tommy Lund is normally involved, but he's in the wall at the moment, and it looks as though it might be a little pass played to Paul Jakobsen. There it is. Hit straight into the wall, and England get it away. Hoddle with a little pass here for Keegan. Torresen, no foul. Phil Thompson looking very steady indeed, getting that one away. And a good, strong, fair challenge, that one by Robson. A little touch there by Keegan, not quite finding Hoddle. But here's Francis coming forward again for England. Mariner in a bit of space on the far side. Hoddle, a little touch there, didn't quite come off, but there was a handball too by McDermott and a free kick to Norway.
Brian, in terms of commitment, drive and passion, this is the best I've seen an England team play for a long, long time. We've set about the business as if we're going to do it tonight.
Well, they've set about the business there and conceded a free kick. Which Albertson will take. The number 5, Grondalen's up, and the big Hareide, who has scored 1 or 2 important goals for Norway, is right up there, the big fair-haired number 3, deep in the box. So if Albertson plays this one deep, he's going to be the man to watch out for, but it won't get to him. And England, who'd pulled everybody except Trevor Francis back, got it away as far as Einar Ors. Here's Albertson again. Cross the time. Oh, Paul Jakobsen miskicked there, but it could have been nasty, and that certainly isn't nasty, as Grondalen plays that way, way wide for an England goal kick. 24 minutes gone. England leading by 1-0 here in Oslo. The scorer, Brian Robson, after 15 minutes. Phil Neal. Mariner. Neal trying to get that into the path of McDermott. Flicks it there, and it didn't quite fall for Mariner, who was following up. And here come Norway again. Their skipper, Thoresen. There was a bobble on that one. He was a bit unfortunate, and Hoddle got caught in possession by Paul Jakobsen. Berntsen, or rather Hareide, and an England throw. In fact, overall, England have played 5 times against the Norwegians and won every time, with a goal tally of 24-2. Here's Mills. And now Keegan. Here's Hoddle. And he played that nicely in for Keegan. On for Mariner. The ball bobbled a little bit there for Mariner. That didn't help him, but he still found Phil Neal. McDermott wanting it through there, but it was cut out well again that time by Grondalen. Thoresen for Norway. 25 minutes gone. 1-0 to England. Grondalen, man who skippered them, in fact, at Wembley when Thoresen was unfit to play. Auckland. Here's the skipper, Thoresen, tonight. Grondalen. Taking again for Auckland. And a foul by Phil Neal. And I tremble a little bit when they concede free kicks around this penalty area, because there's no doubt the Norwegians have a very good reputation for coming up with something a little unexpected. This time it's a combination of Grondalen and Lund. But on the far side, Hareide, I see, has come up. Auckland's there, Paul Jakobsen's in there, Anderson's in there, and it might come for Russell Osman. And a good save by Ray Clements, and a very important save as well. A flying header as Hareide came in there. What a good save this was by Clements. He caught that so powerfully, and Clements was down so quick.
Well, it just shows how we can't afford to relax there, Brian. We knew this big lad Hareide was going to be good on free kicks, set plays, coming up and loading himself in. And quite honestly, that could have been a disaster for England.
And certainly any doubts that anybody had about Ray Clements being a little bit shell-shocked with the 10 goals that he has picked out of the back of the net during the 4 games at Tottenham. Well, Ray had his answer there. Supreme piece of goalkeeping.
Mind you, in all fairness, Brian, he won't mind playing behind Neil, Thompson, Osman and Neil, but that's a little bit good for him, isn't it?
Yes, it's a question of not denigrating in any way the Spurs defence, but playing behind different people who play in a slightly different way. And well, he showed just a moment ago what a great goalkeeper he is. Giske now playing the ball forward, the number 7 to Tommy Lund. Cut out by Hoddle. But not cut out forcefully enough, as Albertson plays the ball in there, and Phil Thompson getting it away. A little bit of respite there for England. Here's Hoddle again. Oh, and Hoddle almost gave it away. And it took Mills to come in and do a rescue act. 2 poor fouls there by Glenn Hoddle. But England are coming forward again now with Keegan. And now Robson, the goal scorer, after 15 minutes. Played inside for Hoddle. Is he going to hit this one? He is. And that wasn't far away. Curling away from Antonsen. And a goal kick to Norway.
so important now, you know, that we keep the ball up to our front people, because if we start indulging ourselves in midfield and playing little triangles and things like that, we're going to let them into the game. And I believe we've only got to keep hitting Francis, Mariner and Keegan, supporting them, and this could be anything for us.
At the moment, it's Torresson finding Lund. A little thick in there for Torresson, played in much too firmly though. The return ball for Lund. And here's this long ball forward, but Mariner can't get there. Ors getting it back to his keeper. Coming up to the half hour in this World Cup qualifier here in Oslo, with a score 1-0 to England. Keegan taking it up after Francis had stumbled. And it's England's ball. Von Dahlen, it's a funny ball, but he's headed it back to his goalkeeper. Lund. England's ball. Interesting character, that number 11, Tommy Lund there. He's so in love with English football that he spends a fair bit of the winter months in England when it's the close season here, just to come across and watch Tottenham play. The greatest Spurs fans in Norway, apparently, the Norwegian number 11. Now chasing after Phil Nil here to close him down. And getting that one away there, Lund. Auckland. This will be for Mickey Mills, all the time that he wants. Played wide for Keegan. Turned in here for Hoddle. Letting it run and looking forward to finding Mariner, but Mariner beaten in the air. Francis ducking in after it though, with its Torresson after him, and a corner for England. England win here tonight, and of course complete the job against Hungary at Wembley in the one remaining World Cup game to come. How the season throughout England will blossom. Neil playing it in there, but the Norwegian keeper, Antonsen, quite easy, safe gather for him. Bjarne Benson now. Ron Atkinson.
Yeah, that's been a bit of a flaw in our play. That corner typified it. We've had good crossing positions, and we haven't really produced good enough balls from those situations. We've loaded them into the keeper's hands, which, considering he hasn't played international...
Oh, there's a shot.
Considering he hasn't played international football for a time, he would like.
Some shot here from Albertson, and again a warning that they do like to bang in their shots. And I think if that had just crept inside the post, I don't think Ray Clements would have smelt it. Yeah, so I should think in the end maybe about 5 yards wide. But England, 1 goal to the good, and it would be so good to settle everybody at home and here, I would think, if we could add another one before half-time. McDermott going, hesitated for a moment, won the ball fairly. Brian Robson now, again that long ball played forward, but a fairly aimless one there, and an inaccurate one. Einer Ors. prelungeste now for Norway. Auckland. And another free kick to Norway. Another pile driver on its way in the direction of Ray Clements, I would imagine. This time, Ors has come up. And Albertson, who we saw strike a tremendous shot just now, is also lined up behind it. Keegan battling on the ball. They're being pushed away by the referee, and really Kevin should be back. Now, who's going to have a crack at this one? Looks as though it might be Einar Ors, the Nottingham Forest defender. There he goes, but he didn't get the sort of shot in that he really wanted. Only Francis was up for England, and he was on the far side, so Grondalen has plenty of time to curl it back in there once more. And Mills must get there before Jakobsen. And Jakobsen really hit one again. Off Mickey Mills that time for another Norwegian corner. And the pressure on England a little bit at the moment as we come to the last 10 minutes of the first half, with England leading by 1-0. Tommy Lund with the corner for Norway. Ray Clements knowing that something is going to come his way now. So Lund with a corner, floated in there, punched away though. Knocked out again that time by the skipper Torresson, once more to Lund. There's a good cross coming in once more, and it's gone in! It's gone in! And Tommy Lund and Albertson are there, and Norway have equalised. It must have just been a touch by Albertson, although I think Lund will say, I wouldn't mind claiming that myself. There he is, he's saying, yes, it just touched it, Albertson. Well, the point is that it is a goal for Norway, and they are level at 1-1. A disaster for England.
It is indeed, Brian. In fact, we're just saying about the quality of the English crossing. There's a first-class example of what we're talking about. Got to feel that Ray Clements might be taking some of the blame for that one, though.
Well, England have work to do now. With a score 1-1 and 9 minutes to go to half-time. A silly goal to give away, but given away it's been when England looked to be so in command. So now they've got to get their heads down, no indulgences, and a lot of hard professional play. Torresson now for Norway. Auckland playing it on. Paul Jakobsen's in there, but fortunately for England, Phil Thompson was as well. And the ball rolled out to Mick Mills. Robson for Francis. Ors has gone with him. England under the cosh at the moment and need to show the character of a national side that means to get to the World Cup finals in Spain. Russell Osman now on the ball. Phil Thompson. Seeking just a moment to sort themselves out. Well, it seems to be part and parcel of England matches abroad at the moment. Keegan. Well, go on then. A little flick in, but nobody was there. The man who's claiming the goal, Albertson, some scuffles there in the crowd. A long ball played here with the number 7, Giska. Ors. Here come Norway again. This time Hreida. Played wide again for Auckland, but too wide, the ball into touch. Thompson. Played there, nice ball by Robson for McDermott. Here's Francis. A little chip in this time for Paul Mariner, the back heel. That was never going to come off. McDermott, now Francis. Still in play there. Torresen, the Norwegian captain, with it, calmly back without any pressure to his goalkeeper, Tor Antonsen. Ron Atkinson.
Brian, I must be fair. I mean, I've said that I'm very critical of the Norwegian back four, but every time they come forward, the Norwegians, in sustained attacks, they look as though they've got a lot of bright ideas, so it's very, very important that we try and push them back and try and play on their back four, because their midfield players, once they get playing, certainly know what it's all about.
McDermott getting it back for Neil. Back to Clements. Lund. Oh, the space here for Albertson, who's made some very good run forwards from the midfield. Lund now playing it for Auckland on the far side. And McDermott not knowing where he is, and a goal! Auckland has put Norway ahead. A terrible mistake there by Terry McDermott. And there's the goal by Torresen, the Norwegian skipper, and England are behind.
What a Jekyll and a Hyde performance this is. For half an hour, I'm saying it's the best English performance I've seen for ages. The last 5-10 minutes or so, we've gone absolutely chaotic. We're getting overrun in midfield. Robson seems to be trying to stem the flow on his own. Haven't seen Hoddle for the last 10 minutes in terms of trying to win the ball and do a defending job. We've got a whole lot of problems now.
Well, we've dug a mighty big hole, and as we have 4 minutes left to half-time, we've somehow got to dig ourselves out of it. Torresen, the scorer, having added to a goal scored by Albertson after Brian Robson had put England ahead with a quarter of an hour gone, and everything seemed to be going so well. A free kick to England. And both really, Ron, moments of appalling defence.
Well, you know, you're looking for Terry McDermott to do damage in the other penalty box, aren't you, normally? And I can't recall him ever doing anything like that in his life.
So a free kick to England, suddenly 2 goals to 1 down. Francis trying to get in there. Hoddle, he can't get there. Phil Neal trying to play it wide again for Mills. Francis again having his shot charged down. Keegan didn't seem to expect that rebound.